Craig Bate, Senior Vice President for Asia Pacific region. Thanks for joining us on MySecurityTV. We're on the last day of Conf 25 with Splunk, but thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
It's great to have, based in Sydney, you're based in Melbourne, but here we are in Boston, so it's always good to hear an Australian voice. But you cover APJ, you've been in the role for some time as well, and this conference we've been looking at the Splunk-Cisco relationship since the acquisition, and so it's good to get your perspective for the region. Maybe describe your role in terms of how the market's been, maybe your last 12 months or so.
Yeah.
And then, just how the Splunk-Cisco relationship front-facing with customers in APJ.
Yeah, so it's fantastic for us to be together in Boston here. We've got really great representation from the Asia Pacific and Japan team as well too.
Yep.
And the feedback from customers has been fantastic. This is my third conf. And obviously this one we've really got a lot of great product innovation and announcements around how we're coming together with Cisco and really kind of seeing the product truth around how roadmaps are converging and the like as well too. Yep. So a lot of energy and it's really exciting.
Well, you mentioned the Japanese. Actually, I just noticed I've been noticing the contingent of Japanese, so it's great. They're obviously your client. How strong do you find the Japanese market maybe compared to the Australian market or Singapore?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So one of the privileges that I have in leading the business across Asia Pacific and Japan is just how diverse the different regions are that we have, and so the challenges that organisations have vary from country to country, but there's a number of things that are consistent and the same as well too. I think fundamentally, as we work with customers across the region, they're really struggling with dealing with the data volumes that we're looking at and really the ability to be able to have visibility across their whole environment. And so we do a lot of work in really being able to support them in doing that. And then regulation and the like as it relates to security is at various levels of maturity across different geographies. But across all geographies, there is an increased level of regulation and standardization and compliance. And so there's a lot for customers to be able to work through at the moment.
So the discussions are often quite the same. The scale of difference has been highlighted here with Cisco and Splunk. As I mentioned, you have been with Splunk for a while.
Yeah.
The immediate impacts that has for you in your role sort of opens up a lot of doors given the scale that Cisco has.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic accelerant for our business, and it's made a real difference in terms of the scale of our ability to be able to support customers and the like as well. And so it's been fantastic, coming together across the region and working really closely together alongside the Cisco team as we deliver kind of joint solutions as well. And I think across the last year, we've delivered a whole lot of great integrations between Cisco and Splunk. If we think about Talos Threat Intelligence, natively integrated into Splunk Enterprise Security at no cost for Splunk customers, is just one obvious example. There's been dozens and dozens of those things. But I think what you've seen here this week is the opportunity together with Cisco as we think about the future of machine data in an AI world, and that really is an enormous opportunity, but also a challenge for organisations as they think about things from a security and an availability perspective.
Yeah, I suppose, what's the perspective from APJ on the customer side? I'm assuming not too much upskilling required or training, but where does APJ sort of fit? And from the customer's side, what should they, or what expectations will they need to have on their own internal teams?
Yeah, so we do a lot of work in making sure they're getting value from their investments with us, and they're really adopting the new capabilities that we've got within our platform. And a lot of the new AI features and capabilities we've got within our platforms really help our customers be able to deal with scale. And that's probably the biggest challenge is businesses, you can't protect what you can't see.
Yeah.
And what you were able to see 2, 3, 4 years ago was 5, 8 terabytes worth of log data, which is now 50 terabytes in a lot of organizations. And so it just requires a fundamentally different approach to be able to analyze and drive value from kind of that volume of data. And so a lot of the work that our teams do with customers across the region is really making sure that they're able to adopt those kind of capabilities that we've released to drive value from the Splunk platform.
And maybe coming in from the Australian context, workforce development and the like, maybe what outreach do you see with Splunk? Again, this is a sort of a end user and community based conference. Yeah, what's the outreach that Splunk might have in the region,
Yeah.
say for Australia in particular, in terms of workforce development?
So we have an enormous number of programs to try and upskill people around all aspects of the Splunk platform, but especially from a cyber perspective as well too.
Yeah.
And so we've got engagements with government in Australia that provide training and upskilling across Splunk to be able to get to a really large number of people, both out of federal government and on state government as well too. And so that's been really good for us in being able to upskill and raise the cyber skill sets of users in ANZ specifically. But then what's also really exciting is the other side of AI, not only the threats that come, but the ability to be able to leverage that to fight these kind of challenges as well. And we really see AI as lowering the kind of the skill that's required to be able to use some of these quite technical tool sets that we've had. And so the ability to engage in natural language and the like really means that we can democratize the use of these security tools and help our customers become more protected.
Okay, and I suppose maybe let's finish off just with the region. Is that sort of where the strengths for Splunk in the region? India, Singapore, Japan, or how do you sort of break down that region in terms of the strongest markets or the most mature for you?
Yeah, it's an incredibly vibrant and incredibly diverse region for us as well, and we've got a really strong, healthy business across all parts of Asia Pacific. I think it probably mirrors the maturity of the different organisations in terms of our presence there. So, across Australia and New Zealand, so many large enterprises really depend on us to run their security and resilience operations. Similar in Singapore and Japan as well too. And then we're seeing a really big uptick that's reflected in investments that we're making in India alongside of Cisco as well too. But we're also seeing kind of really significant growth in emerging markets and the like, where kind of these cyber threats are really top concern, where they perhaps weren't 2 or 3 or 4 years ago for there as well too.
Do you see the gap there between Splunk and Cisco in the region? Sort of, it was explained yesterday, I think that Cisco's got 200,000 customers, Splunk has about 15,000. So it is quite a gap, and in that cybersecurity context, that's a big sort of gap to fill, I suppose. Is that what you're seeing and then that's an opportunity for you in the region? Yeah,
I mean, so many customers across the region have really great long-term relationships with Cisco. And so as they're starting to see the value that we're delivering and a lot of the things that we've announced this week around platforms coming together, they're seeing the value of, say, Cisco firewalls as an example, and being able to ingest that in Splunk in a way which is really commercially advantageous. So we're seeing a lot of interest from Cisco customers who might not have historically been Splunk customers, wanting to look at adopting our roadmap together as well too. So I wouldn't say it's a gap for us, it's an opportunity for us to get to a level of scale that we weren't able to do previously. So we're incredibly well aligned with Cisco, and customers are certainly really positive about the investments we're making as well too in the Splunk platform.
All right. Look, Craig, thanks for joining us on MySecurityTV. It's the first time, ironically, here in Boston for the Australian Cybersecurity magazine as well, but safe travel home, and I'll hopefully see you and catch you up at maybe even Cisco Live in Melbourne in a couple of months.
Yeah, really looking forward to Cisco Live. We'll continue the announcements we've got here, but really appreciate you taking the time to join us here. It's been a fantastic event.
Good on you. Thanks, Craig.
Thank you.
Cheers.